Hey everyone, this is the week one NFL subscriber review. This is a video that if hopefully you paid for this algorithm and you got access to this file that I just emailed you, and I emailed you an unlisted video and you're watching this, or it's Sunday and the games have already started. And because the games have already started, I made this video public. I'll let everybody see it kind of after the games start, but it's an advantage for those who get to see it before. And I spent hours tonight going through the depth charts of every single team and removing rookies or free people who became free agents. I spent a tremendous amount of time doing this. And I think I got it right. And I think it's going to be helpful. This is the most accurate I have ever had the rosters ever, and especially for a week one. I mean, anyway, so there's a lot to be learned as I went through every roster and kind of went through all the changes and everything. It's really interesting because I learned a lot about structures of teams and kind of how they were trying guys out and guys they got rid of. And there's some things that I'll try to communicate as we go game by game here. So the Rams games are already over. How about what has now moved on top of the list, which is the Saints over the Falcons at a minus 233 line? It says they win by 10. Um, Beginning of the season, we're still using some last season stats when it comes to offense, defense, points per game stuff, home and away stuff. So with significant changes to teams' defenses and stuff, you really can't count on much in week one. So I hope we all know that it's still week one, even though we're trying to do as good of a job as we can with the players playing. But so I don't know, but the line's not great, but they are the number one pick. So if you're going to be doing a parlay or something, the algorithm would say take them to win, and says they cover. Arizona and the Chiefs. The still is up top, very, very close to the top of Arizona winning. I went through the rosters. Doesn't look all that funky. It just looks like Arizona's got a really powerful team and some newer guys. So I'm going to be playing that underdog in a couple different ways. Carolina and Cleveland. This moved up, and Carolina's team got some bumps. I did some changes to it, and also Cleveland's a little bit as well, trying out guys. So whatever it's doing there, it does put Carolina up at a pretty good line. So get some interesting lines up top with Arizona, Carolina. Now you have the Tennessee at minus 240 against the Giants. Probably it's not a great line, though. It's a tougher game to play. You can see that the spread is 8 or 9 compared to 5 or 6. So it's getting tougher there. That's a tougher game to play because the line. Commander's supposed to beat Jacksonville here 28-21 by touchdown. Says they cover, says they win 9. The line is not that bad at minus 135 for Washington. Patriots are supposed to beat Miami, even with Miami's roster changes and stuff. Okay. Underdog Patriots on the road still says that they can win. Eagles and Lions. Here it likes the Eagles by 5, but says that it's not worthy of the line. So the minus 222 would be further up. Actually, it's kind of in the right spot because there's some real big favorites down here that are not favored by point projection. We're going to have to check that out. But anyway, this Philadelphia Detroit game, kind of tough to bet because the line's not that good. And it's right along the point projection, and spread is right around the same number of 4 or 5. So it's a tough game. Now, Minnesota has moved down. Video I did earlier talked about Minnesota, I believe, is the second pick. After all these roster adjustments, it's now 30-25, and they're still an underdog. So there's that, but it got a little closer. So moved down. So as you can see, like Carolina, for example, moved up over ahead of Minnesota now. So we're supposed to be looking at this stuff in terms of top down by point projection and margin of victory. So Saints should win. Arizona's our big underdog. It's looking to win. Carolina's supposed to win. Tennessee's supposed to win, but the line's not good. Washington's supposed to win apparently by 7. Hey, keep going. So Minnesota tough there to play in my opinion because it's moved down on the list, and I don't like betting against Rodgers. Baltimore Ravens supposed to beat the Jets by only 5, and it's minus 280. This is too far down. So this is saying don't play the Ravens. It's too far down. As you can see, it says they don't cover the spread. So, and the Jets, I noticed, had some roster things that look, they got like Uzamoa, I think, from Cincinnati. They have some players actually. So that's sneaky. I'm probably going to take the Jets plus 6.5. Now I think about it. Seattle and the Broncos. Here it likes Seattle by 3, and they're at plus 235. Oh, because of the questionable That's the thing, I think, oh my gosh, sorry, we need to do something else. This is so wrong. Oh crap. I'm including injured reserve players. Oh my God. The whole video I did is gonna have to be redone. Let's see what happens when we do this. Refresh. Okay, everything just moved around again. Interesting. So injured people is what's hurting Green Bay. Well, this is cool that I just did that in the middle of the video. So everything I just said is not moot. But you can see that Minnesota moved back up. So something about the people that are injured made this a better matchup for Minnesota and more for Philadelphia over Detroit. Carolina's still kind of up here. Seattle is surprisingly up here now by 6. Wow, look at that. So Seattle plus the points here. San Francisco beats the Bears, but it's not worthy of the line, says they don't cover the spread. Okay. Ravens supposed to be the Jets down here, and now it's a little closer. Yeah. Washington, Jacksonville is now down here. Indianapolis and Houston. Indianapolis barely beats Houston, not worthy of the line. Interesting. So doesn't like that much. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, like Cincinnati by 5, also not worthy of the line. Tough. Buffalo and the Rams already happened, and this score now changed to 1916 and ended up at 31-30. Oh, interesting. It put it in favor of Buffalo in this scenario. Huh. How about that? Yikes. All right. But there's a new injury report in here, so that's not totally accurate. Whatever. Patriots and Dolphins. Now this is a 2-point game. Okay. So now you got Patriots plus 3.5 because I think they'll cover that. But and if they win, but if it's a field goal game, they might lose. They still cover the 3.5. So when you start looking at games down at the bottom, I see stuff like that, and I'm like, I'm okay with this. Predicts the Patriots win. You can get more than a field goal with them. Like the plus 150 is kind of sketchy, but the field goal is probably going to get you there. Chargers and Raiders tie game. So don't think that the Chargers are just going to go ahead and beat the Raiders. And then Tampa Bay is all the way down here against Dallas. Wow, that's weird. That's weird. Okay, so all that being said, I did a lot of work here. And it's a good lesson about updating the project pivot sheet and adjusting for injuries because it screws up point projections if you have the wrong players in there. And I had all the injured players in there at the beginning of the video. So now that we just did that, what are we going to play? I would recommend what algorithm is saying to play here is obviously Arizona plus the points and Arizona to win. I like both of those. If you're just talking about straight bets, then I don't know, whatever. I like both of those. Saints said the L word, but whatever. Saints are are also supposed to win. What happened to our scores? They went down a little too much, didn't they? I wonder if because we took out injured reserves and I took out all the rookies, if we might need to up this magnifier to 5. I think we might. 30-30 game between the Raiders. 22. Yeah, this is starting to make more sense. The magnifier needs to go up because we removed some players. I know we're programming on the fly here, but this is how this works. That's how you make this thing good. So anyway, there's some alternate projected scores over here. We just want to double check and make sure that they're also reasonable. You can see that the alternate projected score has Arizona winning by 5. And our defensive injury scores and stuff over here are kind of skewed because we don't know which defensive players actually play on the team yet because we don't actually have stats from this year yet. It's very messy in week 1. But I just want to make sure that all these are still in the same order. And they are, except for down here, second to last game, Chargers Raiders game. That Raiders are probably going to win that game. That's what when the algorithm starts doing this, says, alternate score says the Raiders win. And here you have a 30-30 game, and the Chargers are favored, even though this is in LA. Like Vegas is almost LA anyway. I don't know. The point is the algorithm's pretty good at picking that stuff off. So you can see that it does not think the Chargers deserve minus 175. It says take the Raiders plus the field goal and 3.5, right? This is a really low scoring game. Let's talk about our point projections. because we haven't done that. Point projections, really low scoring games, a 40 and a 39. The Rams game's already over. So that's what that 39 is. The Houston game. So this Indianapolis Houston game thinks there's only going to be 40 points, and the over under set at 45. So that's pretty good to take the under there. Look at that, right on the money, right on the money, right on. Okay, here we think they're going to go over in these games. So the Minnesota Green Bay and the Philly Detroit game, but these are the 48 is kind of high. The 46 can be beat though. So thinks over in Minnesota Green Bay. Thinks over big time here. What's this game? Cleveland, Carolina. Interesting. So Cleveland, Carolina, it's got 53, 54 points, and the over under is 42. So that's a huge over on that one. Also a 48 on a 40. The Bears and Niners thinks it goes 27-21 at a 5 magnifier, which is what we're at right now. That's 8 points more than 40. So that's an over. Two overs here on 44 point. The Jets, Ravens, and Commanders, Jags. It thinks they go over there. I don't know. I think our magnifier actually is a little too high. Let's go right in the middle at 4.75. 4.72, whatever. All right. Let's go back and take a look at the over-unders for a sec. This is this kind of level of detail you can do with this if you're still with me and you really want to dig in. So these 44s are now 48s and 49s. 57 points here. What is this crazy game? The Raiders and Chargers game. That's the one. I think it's going to be a tremendous amount of points. The Raiders might pull that off. All right. I think I've talked enough, except that I want to give you what my main, like big round robin would be, looking at the games ahead of time and not live betting, just looking at it right now. Well, start again. It's Arizona. And I almost want to take them to win, but then if they lose the game by a field goal, you're like, why didn't I take these points? So that's why I say you do both on separate bets. So I'm going to do that. I don't like this minus 233, but I think you take the Saints just to win. I don't know what to do there because I don't like the line. I like to bet things with good lines. Vikings, Packers, man. I shouldn't. You know what? I've talked too much. Just do what you want. This is what the algorithm says. Good luck, everyone. May all your week one picks be winning, and it should be just a fun, enjoyable day of football. But there's football, there's soccer football. There's all kinds of football. So enjoy your weekend, and I hope may all your picks be winning.